Okay, so good day class. Hope you have a wonderful day today. So kani siya nga lecture video is the continuation sa katong last nga lecture video. Another previous lecture video ang atong gidiscuss is the independent event or those events wherein wala sila nagsalig no sa laing event or that they can occur on their own. Muna siya pasabot sa independent event. So hopefully na mo nasabtan ato ang topic, and now let's continue to the independent repeated trials. So this subtopic explain two things. Una is independent repeated trial. Then after this we'll be discussing the binomial distribution. Kaya gita pa rin na sila because they are somewhat related. Okay? So, the definition of a repeated trial is this one. So, let S be a finite probability space. By the space of n independent repeated trials, we mean the probability space S of n consisting of ordered n tuples of elements of S, with the probability of n tuple defined to be the product of the probabilities of its component. Okay, so medyo complicated ang definition, no? Diretso na lang yun ako ang iyahang marag core, ang iyang definition. So when you say independent repeated trials, it is true to its word. Gibalik-balik lang ninyo ang usa ka independent trial. Mura na siya. Now, to find the probability of those repeated trials independent, take note ha, the independent nga term. Kung dili siya independent, kung for example, it is conditional, katong opposite, no? Meaning dependent ang duha ka events, dili ni siya applicable. So it is only applicable for those events that are independent. So to find the probability of independent events that you repeated, i-times lang po ang kada event ato. I-times lang siya sa usa ko sa ang ilang probability. Okay? So, if we look at the definition, na daw tay S, the finite probability space. Muna siya itong probability space ang S. By the space of n independent repeated trials, we mean the probability space of S of n consisting of n tuples of element of S. Okay? So, pasabot ato ang n is the number of elements sa ato ang S. Okay? With the probability of n tuple defined to be the product of the probability of its component. Okay, so ang probability sa tanan, no, is equivalent to the probability of the entire sample set kani siya. Okay, so example, no, para masabtan gud siya. Let's have an example. So, kato bitong akong gi-example last, like for example, na amoy katong bunutanan, no, na may bunutanan tapos it is considered an independent event if nabunot mo na mo gikuha, then after mo nabunot inyo siyang mo ninyo nabunot inyo siyang humana, nakita lugar mo nga inyuhang siguro let me say na amoy gibunot tapos na color red, na color blue, something like that. Tapos, mingon ng teacher ninyo, kato nakakuha red, i-group. Ang nakakuha yellow, i-group. Ang nakakuha green, i-group. So, if nagbunot mo og isa and then inyo siyang gibalik after bunot, no, each of that event is now independent kay more man gihapon ang number sa katong unsay content ani sa inyong trolat sa kada event or sa kada bunot. So, miskin 50 pa mo ka students nagsigig bunot aning diri ani same ra gyapon ang number sa sulod sa box. Since ano man kana inyo man siyang gibalik. So, in that case, the next event, like for example, the first student who draw the lot will not affect the probability of the second student kung sa'yo makuha. So, ana siya. Now, that is independent event. Now, kung for example, gibalik-balik para to kung giingon nagi 50 ka students ang nagbunot, no? Sa ato pa, gibalik ni siya nga independent event 50 times, no? 50 times siya gi, gibunot, nagbunot tapos 50 times pud siya gibalik. So, to compute the probability of all of that, i-times lang ninyo ang probability sa katong, for example, ang probability nga nakakuha siya o sige dili lang tingali color kay ano man green man ako pen. For example, it is a star and a circle. Okay? So, for example, what would be the probability nga star ang makuha sa first nga student kanibunot? It would be 1/2, di ba? The same man sila o probability, assuming this is a fair nga draw lots. So, we have here 1/2. So, sa second na bunot, we are asked again what is the probability nga ang second ka student makakuha na po siya star. So, it is again 1/2 since this is independent. So, tama na 50th na student if, for example, we are again asked if pila ang probability na makakuha siya star, it is again 1/2 gyapon. So, in this case, if imo siyang i-times tanan, no? The probability of getting a star, no? From probability of getting a star from the first student to the fifth student is just the product of all of this, no? It's just 1/2 times 1/2 tapos that ipang times. So basically you just wala na rin mo siya og giingon og 50th niya wala na mo siya 1/2 times over 50 wala na kana, di ba? So that is the probability nga ang 50 ka students makakuha og star. So, kung ato na siyang 8 times, this is a very small number. So, makita na to. So, this only applies sa independent na events. Okay? Nga gibalik-balik. Alright. Now, here is an example. So, whenever three forces A, B, and C race together, their respective probabilities are 1/2, 1/3, and 1/6. So, we have three forces, no? Si horse 1, so assuming we have here three horses. So si horse A has 1/2 chances of, or meaning the probability of A winning, no, is 1/2. The probability of B winning this race is 1/3, and the probability of C winning this race is 1/6. So in this case, kung ato ni siyang tanawon, no, mas dako ang probability na si horse A ang madaog. But anyway, since this is already given, we need not to analyze this any further. Ganong 1/2, ganong 1/3, ganong 1/6. So it is already given in the problem. So meaning, muna gid niya ang probability. Now, in other words, sumuni siya ang atong sample set since we only have three horses. So, mura ni sila ang sulod sa atong sample set. Okay. Find the probability of each member in this sample space. Okay, so supposedly, no, wala lang siya nabutang sa problem, but supposedly, nag-raise ang tulo ka horses 2 times, no? Now, this S2 represents kung kinsa tong nangadaog or kinsa tong sample sets of the probable winner, no? Sa if these forces were raised 2 times. So, this one here, the first element says na there's a probability or this is an event wherein ang horse A na daog sa first nga race and the second nga race. This one here is an event wherein sa first nga race daog si horse A, sa second nga race daog si horse B. So on and so forth ni siya. Muna din ni siya ang content sa ato ang sample space wherein again gi-race na to ang tulo ka horses 2 times. Muna siya ang mga event sa mga possible na modaog. Now, let us find the probability of all of this happening. No? Sayon ra kayo. Again, this is a repeated independent trial. Nga naman, these forces does not depend on another forces to win. Diba? They're already given their own probability and wala man tingali ingon tag mag-uyab diri nga horses no nga padaogon yun niya iyang uyab kasi sa isa. So that is not independent anymore. Wala mo siya nag-isgot sa problem. So basically, three horses are independent from each other. Their probability is not affected by the other the other horses. No, isa ka horses, other horses probability of success. So, um, these are independent events and that they are a second time. So, kaduha gibalik ang trial. Kaduha sila gi-race. So, this independent event were repeated 2 times. So, unsay buhaton, this is basically very easy. Sa pinakauna nga element, which is AA, we are asked to find its probability. So, meaning the probability of AA. Now, this is repeated trial. So, what would atong buhaton na ni is just to multiply. Multiply ra na to. Diba? Kato kaganina. So, the probability of A winning is 1/2. And the probability, again, of A winning for the second race, so this will be the first race. And the second race is, ingon siya 1/2. Kihapon. Kung kanay atong pangitan na probability, ha? Since these are all independent from each other, supposedly wala gikapoy ang atong horse after the first race, so wala na apektuhan ang iyang probability of success sa kaduha nga race. So in this case, ang iyang probability na makadaog siya sa makadaog si horse A or a horse A 2 times in a row is 1/4. Now let's go to AB. Mura gihapon. So the probability of A is 1/2. Now the probability of B winning is 1/3. Diba? Now if we times that, this is equivalent to 1/6. Now let us continue again. So dito na ako ni siya i-computanan. You go and find it. Unsay pinakadako probability ka no? Sa pinakadako nga chances ani nga mga event. Unsay probable na mahitabo, no? Okay, so that is the independent repeated trials. Again, this is first is you must look at the problem if the events are independent from each other and that if it is repeated. Okay, now if naghisgot ang problem na change ang probability ni horse A sa first na race ay sa second na race, no? Like for example, sa first na race 1/2 ang iyahang probability, sa second na race nahimo og for example nahimo og 1 nahimo na lang og 1/4. So pasabot ni gamay ang probability ni horse siguro mas gikapoy siya sa second na race. So meaning di na siya matawag nga independent since nag-change naman ang probability ni horse A sa kada trial, no? Sa kada balik-balik. Okay, so independent events are those events na miskin kapilahon nimong balik-balik the same lang gihapon niyang probability, meaning wala na apektuhan ang previous na event sa current na event, no? Current na event as ang probability anang abutang. So hopefully nakasabot, nakagets, no? If you have any questions, ayaw mo hesitate to ask me. I know these topics are medyo lisod So I totally understand if you cannot grasp them with the kanang daritso, no. So these topics require constant balik-balik reading and practice. So muna siya. Now let's proceed to the word binomial distribution. Okay, so um binomial distribution is just like a repeated events. No, mura lang siya repeated events. But ang iyahang result sa kada event is only 2. So muna siyang binomial. It could be either a success or a failure. Mura gid na siya. So for example, you have here a drawlat para itong example na po ganina, ma'am ganahan jud ka ang drawlat. For example, you have a drawlat here. Tapos naa kay star again, and then you have a heart. And then you imuhang gilabel si star as a success and a heart as a failure. So that is considered, and then imo siyang gibalik-balik og bunot, no, or imo siyang gibalik repeated trial wherein imong giuli ra pod. So that is an example of binomial distribution. So it is like a repeated trial with only two possible outcomes. No, it could be a success or it could be a failure. This here, kaning pinakauna ninyo nakita, this is the binomial coefficient. Okay? So you don't need to know, this is out of the scope of this topic, to know where or nganong naa ni siya diri. Gipakita lang siya diri, it's because this will be the notation to indicate the number of trials and the number of success. Okay? Okay, so this is muna siya ang pasabot ani kani siya is this one. It is n factorial over k factorial. So mura siya o murag permutation man ta na yata ni di lang ko mag-explain further. But muna siya kaning na diri is this one. Now this is the theorem of the binomial distribution. So we will find the probability of success, no? You need the binomial coefficient times the probability of success and times the of success, no, kanisha, to find values. Again, this is a repeated trial, diba? I've already mentioned this is a repeated trial. So meaning to find this the probability of uh, a success, no, probability of exactly k successes mo ni siya. Um, you need this one, the binomial coefficient, times the probability of success, no, to the power of the number of success, and then the probability of failure, no, uh, the power of n minus k. So k means success, diba? Number of success na siya, si k. And n is your number of trials. Now, to find, example lang ni siya. If you want to find the probability na katulo mo, so, pasabot, katulo mo nakakuha og success, so meaning, your k is equals to 3. Okay? Your k is equals to 3. Okay, you ask inyo mang pangitaon ang probability nga 3 times mo nakabunot og star and your star is your success man. Datong problem. So your k is 3 tapos your number of trial, for example sa total of siguro kalima mo gipabunot, no, so sa so your number of trial is 5. So basically ang pasabot ani is um kalima mo gipabunot, what would be the probability nga katulo mo makakuha og success? Okay, so muna siya. Muna siya ang inyong K, muna siya ang inyong N. And the P here is kung pila ang probability sa inyong individual ka-success. So if star is success, heart is a failure, and there are only two of them in a sample set, so meaning same ra ni sila of probability, 1/2 and 1/2. Adding these two will equals to 1. So basically, mo gini ang ilahang probability sa ato ang as element of your sample set. So meaning your P here of success is 1/2, and your probability, so this is the probability of success, and your probability of failure is also 1/2. Okay? So muna siya. Okay. So to find, kung for example, no, wala gi-provide sa inyo ang probability of failure, pero gi-provide sa inyo ang probability of success. And since it is a binomial distribution, meaning there's only two output, pwede ra gyud ninyo i-minus sa 1. So for example, your probability of success is not equal, for example lang. For example, mas dako si star kay kang heart, di mas dako og chance nga makabunot ka kang star kaysa kang heart. So for example, your probability of getting star is 3/4, or maybe ato na lang ni siyang mm, point or 75%. Okay, so your chances of makabunot og star siguro giingnan mo sa problem na mas dako si star, so mas dako siya probability, and so siguro 75% ang iyang probability, and then wala mo kabalo sa probability sa isa, no, sa unsay probability sa failure. So in this case, since duha ra man ang possible na outcome ni binomial distribution, ato lang i-minus. Diba? Kay duha ra man. And then, sa pasabot, since duha ra man ang possible na outcome, ang size in yung sample set is always 2. No? And then, meaning, since a probability sa isa ka sample set should be equal to 1, and all of the events must be equal to 1 pod if we add tanan, and then this is 2, pasabot, I think you already get my point, no? Pasabot, kung 75% ang isa, i-minus lang na siya sa 1, sa ato pa kani siya is equals to 25%. So, this one is equals to 100 or equal to 1. Okay? So, muna siya, if di ka makakita sa isa, no, i-minus lang siya kang 1. Muna siya ang pasabutan eh. Okay? The probability of one more success, i-minus lang nimo sa 1. Uh, na siya n because of the number of trials man eh. Anyways, here is further definition of the binomial distribution para lang ma-aware mo, no? So, binomial distribution derived from Bernoulli trials. Bernoulli trials are those experiment with only two possible outcomes. Okay, unsay kalainan niya sa binomial distribution or binomial trials or binomial experiment? Ang kalainan niya is that si Bernoulli trials, it can be done infinite number of times. And since infinite man siya, it is not in the scope of our paper of this course kay discrete man eh. So we are dealing with finite sets. So Bernoulli trials are the same with binomial, but Bernoulli trials are trials that could occur as infinitely. Okay, but binomial trials or binomial experiments are those experiments na duha ang possible output, and that it is tried in a finite or a fixed number of time. Okay. So mo ni siya, you may read them yourself. I think ako na ning na-explain tanan. Okay. So now let me give you an example. So this is an example for the binomial distribution. So example, a fair coin is tossed 6 times. So on side clue ninyo ani, it is a fair coin, meaning both sides has equal, okay, term na equal, has equal probability of being selected. Diba? Kay fair man. And it is tossed 6 times. Okay? Now, here we set the head as a success. So meaning the tail is the failure. Now, it is a coin. So if you toss that, so is I have a question for you. Answer this in your mind or if you're listening right now. And Sirisha, what do you think is the coin tossing? Is it an independent trial or is it a dependent trial? Sa man siya. Now, for example, you toss the coin 2 times. No? 2 times. The same nga coin. Example lang. Alam nga naman hindi man siya ma-erase. So, 2 times. Inyo siyang gi, gitos. 2 times, 2 times in a row. This is the head, no? Okay, mo na si head. And the other one is the tail. If you toss that 2 times, unsa man siya nga event? Dependent or independent? What do you think? It is independent. Because, nga naman, kung mag-toss ka sa first nga coin, if for example, you have a head, sa first example lang, nahawa kag head, sa second na toss, it does not affect katong previous. Moingon ng second na toss, unsa may labot nako og head ang imong nakuha sa sukod ni mga toss. No? Wala ko'y paki sa una nimong nakuha. So, my probability will still be the same. So, muna siya, sa second na toss, nakakuha po kag head, it doesn't mean na nakakuha kag head sa second na toss kay head ang imong una. No, it is just, since this is independent, they are not related from each other. So, head lang din yung imong nakuha sa second na toss, and so on and so forth. So, meaning this is an independent event. Now, how could this become a dependent event? If, for example, sa first nga toss naapektuhan ang second na toss. No? Siguro, if for example, na kay mechanical na coin, no? High-tech nga coin, wherein if makakuha ka sa first nga toss og head, mo tail siya, mo change ang iyang side, no? Or something like that. That could be, that could become adigapon. It is still an independent trial. So how could we make coin tossing as dependent? Anyways, inyo na ng problema. If you want to transform this one into a dependent, no? But basically, coin tossing is an independent event or independent, yes, event. Now, since we already know that we have a fair coin, so fair coin meaning each side has the same probability. So, mag-drawing tag coin nga dako, no? Para marag maganahan po mo magtanaw ba nga nag-drawing ko diri. So, natay naong diri ni si Rizal. Yeah, no? Okay. Nato ni siyang i-change na to. Okay, plus, ana, diya, muna itong coin, di ba? Okay, and then, siguro, ano na lang ni diri anime. Ay, anime, ana siya. Okay. So, muna siya atong head, tapos nasa pikas ang tail. Now, head as a success, and it is a fair coin. So meaning this head, the head has 1/2 chances of being selected, or 50%, and the tail has 50% also of getting selected, since it's a fair die. So both have the same probability. This coin is tossed 6 times. Okay, so ka-6 siya gitos. So as you can, as you have noticed already, this is a binomial experiment with repeated trial. Now n is 6, so gihatag naman din niya. So n is 6. So this is the number of times man. So n is 6. P and Q is 1/2. Find the following. The probability that exactly 2 heads occur. Okay, so unsa ka ni siya? So A, since we need to find the probability that 2 heads occur, so meaning dapat makakuha ta og success 2 times. So our K should be 2. Our N is already 6. Diba? Our probability of success is 1/2. And our probability of failure is 1/2. Now, recall sa katong ato ang kanino sa ato ang formula. We have here P, ano ba yan? We have, dili na sa taas. P of K is equivalent to, sa pa ganito? Okay, NK. Have NK, P, K, and Q, N minus K. Diba? Okay, sakto. So, muna siya ang ato ang probability. So, we are asked to find if we can, what is the probability of getting a success 2 times. So, let us consider P2, since K na to is equals to 2 man. So, N is 6, K is 2. The probability of success 1/2 over, kapila man ang K, K is 2. Then the probability of failure 1/2, tapos 6 minus 2. So this one here, this is just a coefficient. Okay, so you can solve this gamit ni, no, try daw na to siya og solve. But okay, so let us solve this first, di ba? This is the binomial coefficient, if you recall. So, unsa ganitong binomial coefficient? I will just write it again diri as a taas. So kaya tayo butang color. Okay, so binomial coefficient, no, which is the n of k is equivalent to n factorial over k factorial n minus k factorial. Okay, so that is our nk. So basically, kaning aside, no? Sige, ito siya. So kaning aside here, this one, it is equivalent to, ato na siya isolve diri. So 6, 2 is equal to 6 factorial over 2 factorial, diba? And then 6 minus 2 factorial. This is equivalent to 6 factorial, 2 factorial, 4 factorial. This is equal to, ito na siyang isolve. This is actually equivalent to 15. Okay? So this is 15. So sa ato pa kani siya. This one is 15. Now to solve this one, this is equivalent to 1/2 squared. This is 1/4, diba? and 1/2 to the 4. This is 15. 1/4. 1/2 to the 4. This is 1/16. Diba? And this is equivalent to 15. 1/64 or 15/64. So this is the chances or the probability nga sa 5 sa kaunom din ninyo nga pag-toss sa coin, no? Duha ato ang success. Okay, so this is the probability 15/64. If we solve that sa ato ang meaning kana siya. So meaning this is around 23% probability of success. 23.4, no? Okay. Now, dirita sa B. Okay, gubot kay kog agi. For a while lang ha. Ato na siya i-duplicate. Okay, so I will erase this. So let's now balik ta sa kaning diri na punta sa B. So, B na punta. B. The probability of getting at least 4 heads. So, mingon kag at least. Unsay pasabot sa at least? At least, so pasabot ang inyong success could be 4, pinakagamay, or 5, di ba? Or 6. Di ba? Dili man pwede nga 3, di pwede nga 2 o 1, kay at least 4 man. So, it should be greater than 4 ang inyong mga successes. Okay. So, if maka-encounter mo probability ngayon wherein ay at least or something like that, ang inyong buhaton is i-plus lang ninyo tong inyong ang probability sa kada makuha ninyo ani. So, basically, inyo lang i-plus ang probability na si k is equals to 4 plus the probability nga si k is equals to 5 plus the probability nga si k is equals to 6. Kaya ano siya nga nang ingani? It's because lain man sila probability ang kada event. And adding them, pasabot, daghan mo chance, di ba? Mas mudako ang inyong chances since daghan man mo possible na makuha nga output. Pwede 4, pwede 5, pwede 6. And plus po siya because it is somewhat, mura naman ni siya og union. Okay? Union sa kada event. So, inyong buhatan na ni is just to compute for all of this. Okay? So, una ta diri sa pk is equals to 4. pk is equals to 4. So, una ta sa p is equals to 4. Kani siya. So, dali ra. Gamiton lang gyapon nato ni siya. So, p is equals to 4 is equals to number of trials is 6, k is 4, diba? Tapos, 1/2 to the power of k, which is 4, and then 1/2 to the power of n minus k. So, n minus k is, pila man? n minus k is n minus k is 6 minus 4. So, this is 2. So, this is 2. Wala siya i-reason. This is 2 here. So, kanay nyo na siyang i-solve. Iparehas lang ninyo sa katong previous na to pag-solve, no? Unahon ninyo pag-solve ning kani, katong binomial coefficient. Tapos, kanida yung duha. Now, if you continue on solving that, dili na nako i-go on into detail. So, if you continue into solving that, you have, lain na no ng color. You have, around 15 over 64. Okay? So, isolve na ninyo siya. This is 15 over 64. Now, let us move to k is equals to 5. Ano siya? Let us move to... So, p is equals to 5. At saka answer ani, this is the probability of success 6. The probability, number of trials is 6. Probability of success is 5. So, this is 1/2 to the power of 5 and 1/2 to the power of 1. So, the answer for this is, ato na siya isolve. This is 6 over 64. Solve lang na siya. Okay? So, this is 6 over 64. Now, let's go to if pk is equals to 6. K is equals to 6, this one. So, p is 6. This is 6. 6, no? So, this the probability of success is 1/2 over 6. And the probability of failure is 1/2 to the 0. Kaya 6 minus 6 is 0 man. So, kani siya mahimo ra gyapon ni siya og mahimo siya og 1. So, pwede ra na siya mawala. Okay? Pwede ra siya mawala. So, if we compute that, that would be equivalent to 1 over 64. So, kung anong tanaw no, nagkagamay ang probability. Okay, nagkagamay ang probability nga 5 imong ka 5 ka makakuha og success. Especially na gyud ning sa ka 6 nimo ka toss no. Puro success tanan, puro head tanan samot siya kagamay. But basically, since daghan man event atong gibasihan kay at least 4 man, ato lang ni siyang i-plus tanan. So, this is so kani siya diri kana. This is equivalent to 15 over 64 plus 6 over 64 plus 1 over 64, which is equal to 15, 6 plus 1, 6 plus 1, 7, 15. So, this is 22 over 64. Or, kung ato na siya yung lowest term, this is 11 over 32. Kung ato pagid ni siya yung equivalent, no? I-decimal form, this is 0.34. So, getting at least 4 success out of 6 trial has 34% of 34% of occurring. Probability of 34% occurring. So, muna siya ang answer sa B. Okay, dito sa C, the probability that there will be no heads. Wala kayo makuha ang heads. Okay, saan kaya na siya? Copy-paste na po the class. I will erase this, all of that. So the probability of getting no heads, unsa kaya answer ani? So meaning your k here is equals to 0. Kaya wala man kay success ka, no? Now, to get that, na para makakuha ta og kaning sa probability ani, let us try the opposite, no? The other way around, kay minus raman siya. Let us try if the probability of, if for example, sige, ngayon na lang na to og approach. Actually, bali-bali ramang good ni siya. So, getting k is equals to 0 is like n is equals to 6. No? Kung ato ni siyang isolve, p, the probability of 0 is that this becomes 6, 0. So, our k here, no? Our k, our 1/2 is 0. Tapos, ang isa is 6. Diba? Kay the probability n minus k man siya. N minus k. So, since n is 6 minus 0, this is 6. Okay? Now, 6, 0, this is, kung ato ni siyang isolve diri, no, this becomes, ano ba yan? Pangit kay kung agi class. So, this becomes, pila man ni, n factorial is 6 factorial, k factorial is 0, di ba? And then, this becomes 6 factorial. So, my output, ani. This actually becomes 1. 0 factorial is 1. And then 6 factorial divided by 6 factorial is 1. So, kani siya tanan, this becomes 1. This becomes 1 gyapon. And this one here is the only thing remaining na pwede na to ma-solve. So, now, ato na siya ansiran, 1/2 to the 6 is equals to 1 to the 64. So that is your probability of not getting 0, no? Not getting any success sa 6 nimo ka tos, wala ka nakakuha og success miskin isa. So this is the probability of that. So basically this is like the probability of failure sa entire trial. Now kung ato ni siyang i-minus sa 1, so 1 minus 1 over 64, this is actually this becomes 0.94 kung ato na siyang isolve gid no sa calculator. This becomes 0.94 or around 94%, no? So if this is the probability of failure sa kada event, this is the probability of getting a success at least one time sa inyong, so probability of success na siya. Meaning at least okay. So this is getting the probability of getting no success at all sa 6 ka trial. And this is the probability of getting at least one success sa 6 ka trials. Muna siya. So basically they are the opposite. So katong kinsay naka-remember sa inyo about atong propositional logic, di ba? The opposite of for all is there exists, di ba? So for all has this one quantifiers and there exists is that one. So sa ato pa, this is the probability nga for all man eh. This is the probability that all or for all of your trial, you have no success. If ato siyang i-minus sa 1, this is exactly the opposite of that, which is sa 6 ka trial na kay isa ka success. Or meaning, in your 6 trials, there exists one success. So this is the opposite of that. This one is this one. Muna siya. Okay? So, that will be all for this topic, no? The next lecture, ani, is the random variables na ta. Random variable are somewhat medyo complicated na topic. And since nag-apas man ta sa time, I will just give you a recorded lecture video nga gihimo na daan sa isa sa mga sikat, no? So maayo mo tudlo. Ako siyang gipili para kay sada magud siya mo discuss. So um mo to siya. If you have further questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Ayaw mo pagkaula og asa ko questions. And I think that would be all. And thank you for listening.